Hello, it's producer Dino from The Sanctuary, and if you missed our festive Fright Night number 6, then this is what you missed.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Nope. Mr. Pop. Eat.
I'm beginning to feel uncomfortable in this room now.
There's something, I could only describe that room as devilish.
Oh, it sounds ominous, really, doesn't it?
Monica just heard another door slamming, so I've just ran up to check, and the door was ajar, and the knob to the door was actually on the floor.
Now Andy's gone, as I can feel, it is the anger is building, the pressure up here is building, it's getting like a... It's almost like you want to go and just really explode.
Well, we've got Simon that's just come back into the room now, having left. How do you feel, darling?
I still don't feel right.
What is that?
What is that light up there?
It's moved, it's moving.
Shall we try and progress somewhere out of the rain before we... What is that?
If this room wasn't at the top of a tower, I would have said this is a room of cruelty.
It's like there's something behind, there's something nearby, there is something that's not quite right, and you're not quite right.
Oh, I don't know what it is, don't know who it is, don't like it, really don't like it. He's really angry,
Is this against Simon?
Yeah.
Her dad threatened her with locking her up in the lunatic asylum.
You ungrateful little bitch.
Well, this is the room then, Dave. We heard the door slam, it was this door.
Right. It's like someone is pushing and then stopping it.
I trusted you!
Well, here we are, the end of one year, the start of another, and it wouldn't be the festive period without one of our Sanctuary Fright Nights. Now, if you've never heard one of our Fright Nights before, in a nutshell, it's basically a kind of investigation into the paranormal. What happens is that the Sanctuary team and guests visit different places and venues across the West Midlands that are reportedly haunted to see if anything supernatural, paranormal or unexplained actually happens. Now, regulars to the Sanctuary will know that we've carried out all sorts of Fright Night investigations, taking in the haunted worlds of the Creaky Cauldron in Shakespeare's hometown, the Manor House in West Brom, Dudley Castle, the Falstaff's Experience in Stratford, even a Masonic lodge and church at Guyscliffe. Now, for our festive Fright Nights, we try to visit places that have a real history, and tonight it's no exception. For our festive fright, we decided to check out the ghostly goings-on at Tamworth Castle.
The Sanctuary with Caroline Martin.
Now, for those that have never visited the castle in Tamworth, it's an incredible venue. Overlooking the River Tame, it dates back to the 11th century, giving me and my team over 1,000 years of history to play with on this, our Fright Night number 6. A Fright Night that we're calling Death the Halls. So, without further ado, let's head into the castle and prepare to meet our guests.
Before Christmas, all through the house, a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Well, here we all are at the beginning of yet another Fright Night. This is Fright Night number 6. Why did we come on a windy night like this? Oh, we are at Tamworth Castle. Look, this is so good for me. I can see my house from here. Hey! Not so good for you guys, though, is it, really? You've had to come a distance, really, Dino?
My God, it's cold, woman. Why?
Well, let's just go in then, shall we? Look, come on up this slope here. Right, here we are approaching the castle. That is a big knocker. Ah, and in we go. Well, this is all very lovely, isn't it? See, I told you it would be absolutely gorgeous. from what we're seeing so far, to be dressed for Christmas, and not too cold. It's not a ruin. Look, it's got a roof on it. I promised you a roof, and you've got the roof.
For once.
For once. Here we all are then. So it's Fright Night and Tamworth Castle. We're going to go and explore. We're going to go and have a look round, and we're going to go and see where we're going to lead our team later on. And so the two people that are going to be showing us around tonight that have given up their evenings to partake of the Fright Night with us. And who do we have first?
I'm Linda Baker. I work on the education and events team, and I'm a tour guide as well.
And are we going to be in for a good night, do you think, based on what you've experienced before?
We should be. It's really quiet, really good conditions, and that's normally when things happen, when it's nice and quiet.
Oh, it sounds ominous, really, doesn't it? And our second lady, who do we have?
Monica Perez, and I'm the Development Officer for Tamworth Castle. And I'm expecting it to be quite active. It has been quite active recently, so hopefully tonight should be very good.
So shall we actually go into the castle itself? At the moment, we're in the courtyard and we're looking up and around it, and up there it seems that there's a kind of like walkway around. Can you actually walk around up there?
Absolutely. That's a parapet. There's another one to the other side of the castle as well, and you will be walking along there later on.
Ah, right, OK then. So
What, up there? That's really high.
It is quite high, but there is
And
a railing.
It's really windy and it's really high up there.
it's a lovely place, isn't it?
It's beautiful, beautiful. I just hope that the rest of the team are here.
Should we go find out and go and meet the rest of the team? Now, joining me on our festive Fright Night are our favourite skeptic, historian and protector, Andy Woolley. From The Sanctuary, we have producer Dino.
Hello there.
And the lovely Laura, of course.
Hi.
And a new addition to The Sanctuary, Simon.
Hello.
And, of course, no Fright Night is complete without our resident medium, Psychic Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hello there.
Right, Dave, you had no idea where we were going for our festive Fright Night. You came along with Andy. Now, what were you expecting from this, our sixth Fright Night?
Well, I wanted something a little bit different because we'd had quite a few recently where we wanted something a little bit more scary, but a bit festive as well. And where better to go than somewhere big? You hadn't told me where, but when we pulled up in the car park and there it was, the castle on the hill, I knew we were in for something special.
Right then, as with every Fright Night, we start by getting familiarised with the place that we are, and Tamworth Castle is no exception. Now, with our hosts, Linda and Monica, we get our bearings before the investigation begins.
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house.
Well, now we've met the team, it's time for us to take a little bit of a tour around before we actually get the evening going, try and find the hot spots, as it were, and know where we're going to take them back to later on.
A creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
We're going to leave Dave, Andy, and I think we'll leave Laura with them, to be fair, and we're going to get a bit of a feel for what's out here. We're in the courtyard again. So from here, what can we see? Because, I mean, there's windows all looking down on us, all lighted up. So what's around us? What can we discover?
What you can see from this courtyard is the various different buildings from different periods in history that have been built within Tamworth Castle. So if we have a look, we've got the medieval outer shell walls, dated to about 1170, and also the tower. The dungeon is at the base of the tower. Then we have the north stairs, the Tudor staircase here. Slightly later to that, we have the two buildings here. We have the Elizabethan wing and this building, which is Warder's Lodge as well, and again, late 1500s.
So where shall we start first? Where do you think the best places are to begin this Fright Night?
Well, I think if we move on into the castle...
Good idea.
And take a look round.
OK.
We're now in the what was originally known as the Undercroft. We call it the Norman Exhibition. Originally, this space was much larger, and this is at the bottom of the original medieval wing built in the early 1200s.
Wherever we go to do a Fright Night, we always come across this word, don't we? Undercroft. I mean, he's picked up various things. I just wonder how he's going to be tonight.
It's going to be interesting as well because, like Linda and Monica were saying, that there's different ages for the buildings.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see if he picks up different spirits for
well, we
different
had
time
the
periods.
instance, didn't we, where we were at the Manor House, I think, that there were so many from so many different time periods, from bits that had been added to it. It got quite confusing in the end, didn't it? But hopefully tonight that's not going to be the case. Right, we're coming out of that room and we appear to be going up towards the staircase. Now, I'm going to ask you this now because it's been a thing that's... I live not far from here. I live in Kingsbury, and there's always rumours going around from, the people of Kingsbury that there's apparently a secret tunnel that goes from the church to the castle here, and I'm thinking that must have taken some time to have dug that tunnel out. And then you hear of tunnels appearing here from other places. Is there any truth to this, or is it just idle speculation?
I'm not aware that there's any truth in it, and I think most medieval towns have the same rumour.
Yeah.
There's no evidence that this tunnel from the church to the castle exists.
It's either put paid to that rumour or she knows something she doesn't know.
There's tunnels everywhere else, though.
This feels a really peaceful room.
It is, although one member of staff did have quite a terrifying experience. She was working in this room. It was an evening. We had a group of children in the evening, and she looked up at the window and she saw a figure looking at her from that window up there, a hooded figure.
And this room at the far end. Now, I remember something very interesting happening there on one of my previous visits. So what if we can go back and have a look in there, what is that through there?
This leads on to the haunted staircase. So in the day, this room's changed somewhat to how it would have originally been.
It's also believed that King James used this as a sleeping quarters when he came to stay.
So where to next then? Right, we're going up some more stairs now. Wow. Oh, and this part's got a completely different feeling from where we've just been.
The Tamworth story. It tells the whole history of Tamworth from the past 2,000 years.
And have you ever had any activity up here?
Absolutely. This is actually a very active area. I didn't open it. Was it closed? This is an old prison cell door, which should be closed.
Quite often they find it open.
How could somebody move that?
What, normally it's closed, but
It's normally closed. This is a typical thing within the castle. Staff opening up in the morning and finding things not as they believe they have left them.
So that would have been shut?
Yes.
Would that be then shut like this, with the block in front?
Yeah.
We have a picture of it on the website, actually, so you can go and check out what this door looks like and what is at the foot of it and make your own minds up how that moves.
Simon, let's just see how heavy that block is to pick up. That's ever so weight.
That is actually got some weight in it.
So there we are, look, spooky things happening already, and we've not even begun the night properly yet.
So we're moving back into the tower.
Are we going to be feeling all right when we get into this next room? But we're going into this room now. That is, this is the guard room.
Yes, we call this the guard room. We use it as a school room, and we hold sessions for children in here. In my experience on ghost searches, this is often a very active room.
Right.
That's it. I'd feel
don't
ever
like
so
it in here?
uncomfortable in here.
Yeah, a lot of people, particularly women, will start to cry.
Right, I think we'll come back in this room in a wee while, but I think that we should go and have a look at the tower. Can we go and see the tower?
Absolutely. Mind your heads.
Feel the cold, Dean, feel the cold.
Up to the tower, through an incredibly small door, and
From here you can see St Editha's Church over there.
You can see everything from up here.
Absolutely, you can.
Absolutely everything. We've got the church, we've got the tower blocks in Tamworth. I'm sure that if you look, you can probably see my house somewhere out there.
If we look over in that direction, can you see on the horizon that's actually Drayton Manor?
You can see that thing. What's that called? The ride that goes down?
I think.
No, it's not Maelstrom. It's the my kids always go on it. But everywhere we go around here, we're like, oh, you can see that. You can see the thing at Drayton Manor.
We can hear them screaming in the summer when they're
really?
we can hear them screaming.
Wow.
The wind's blowing right.
And you can see all the shops and everything. The Ventura. You can see the Snow Dome. You can see B&Q if you need some screws. Look.
And it is said that one of our ghosts, the White Lady, did jump from the castle. I believe it was from the parapet.
Yes.
I don't think that we need to be doing anything from here later. We've seen it now.
No, it's festive, it's nice, it's very high, but bloody hell, it's cold.
Again, mind your heads.
Right, we're going back down the staircase.
Right, this area, you've got the haunted staircase.
I keep hearing this being referred to as the haunted staircase. What have you seen here? What happens here?
There's been an awful lot of activity here,
Okay.
Here and into the haunted bedroom. The haunted bedroom is located within the oldest part of the castle, i.e. being the tower.
Right.
And this leads on to the haunted bedroom. A ghost vigil here in the early 1940s, and we've got an image captured on these stairs of what's known as the Black Lady.
And to where now?
So, if we carry on this way to the Warder's Lodge, we call this the servants' chamber.
This actually looks quite cosy. I mean, you're saying it's a servants' chamber. It looks like a quite pleasant room, really.
It wouldn't have been servants scrubbing the floors. This would have been a high class.
A high class. You're better class of servant,
yes.
But it was known as the chapel at one time as well.
What room is that
That's
opposite?
the Georgian room, which was the nursery.
Because
Yeah.
Because I just thought it looked like a shadow going across.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just thought
for.
I thought whether it might be our reflection, but
It's not the first time that something
Yeah.
has been seen in those windows.
Let's go
I
find
thought,
out more about that.
I thought it was us moving,
No.
but it's not. It was like something walking straight across the window.
That's something that has been seen.
Oh, come on then, Dean. Look, if we're going to go in there, we've got to go outside.
This is the parapet that we pointed out from the courtyard.
From downstairs.
So this is the room. It was formerly the nursery.
Okay.
It's now been reinterpreted as the Georgian room.
Right.
So we're in the Elizabethan wing now. So at the moment, this is now the nursery.
No,
No,
that's creepy.
no. Anything with a rocking chair is always creepy.
Is this the room then I saw the shadow
Yes, isn't it?
go across
Yes,
the window?
this was the room that you saw.
Just weird. You kind of like.
I think it was
open-
this room or the window next door. There's also behind the curtain another small ante-room there.
Oh, Dino. This is weird, Dino. Look in
behind-
there. Open the curtain. There's a little room behind, and there's a pram. Just an old style pram.
There's no need for that.
Oh,
It's
I don't
like-
even want to go in this room.
Really?
It's like the pram on the
It's
front
often
cover
the
of
nooks and crannies
Rosemary's
because
Baby.
this looks quite homely.
Yeah.
And then when you look behind...
I don't know if this does look homely. To be fair, there's something
this-
about this
you don't like
place
this.
that's not
Okay.
not a great. I wouldn't feel at home in here for too long. Ooh. It's those old dolls and things like that. They just have faces like they're. Oh, and look at that in that thing. Look at that in that crib. That baby.
That's not normal.
Right, should we go and get everybody together and make a start on... We've seen through the rooms ourselves, and I think that we've both got particular, shall we say, I don't know if... do you want to call them favourites? We know that there are certain places later on that we may pick up something, or you get that general feeling. It'll be interesting when we introduce Dave and also Andy to come along, which ones they're drawn to, whether they're drawn to the same ones that we felt something in. So that's the tour complete, the team's in place, and next, the Fright Night begins.
The Sanctuary.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold.
Well, we've met the team, we've had a bit of a tour around, and I think that right now it's time to start the Fright Night proper. It feels a lot different from how it did when we first arrived here, didn't it? Why are you looking at those windows? You're always drawn to those windows.
I have no idea. I keep thinking I keep seeing things in that window. That's not the same window. Is that the same window?
Yeah, that's a nursery window, isn't it? Up there. I think at some point Dave is going to be drawn to there. I don't know. How do you feel just kind of like stood out here in the courtyard, Dave, as you're hopping on one leg?
Frightened of Laura.
You're frightened of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. No,
You've got a very mischievous look about you tonight, Dave,
it's
to be
that.
fair.
It's that. I don't want to say I feel Hannibal Lecterish because that's going to be completely wrong. Okay, but I can feel like a slithery sort of thing going on. But it's this cowl. I don't like it. No, it's really no.
If you want to see what Laura's wearing so that you know what Dave's on about, then I'll put a picture of you on, okay. Facebook, and I'll take one in a bit. But I think that should we try and progress somewhere out of the rain before what is that?
That sounds like a door.
Go and check in case there's a door being left open.
Because that was definitely somebody.
From within the
yeah.
walls, isn't it?
Didn't sound like something external, sounded like something in one of the rooms.
But all the doors were all locked up. When we had a little tour round, all the doors were shut behind because they locked them all up from when we were up there.
What is that?
What is that light up
there? Well, let's just get in there and get going. Come on. Right, we're in the building now and we're in the Great Hall. Everywhere is in complete and utter darkness now.
And I've still got this thing going on with Laura, and I'm stood here and I'm talking to you, and out of the corner of my eye, when I don't look at Laura, it's like you've got a hood, a black hood, and a scary nun. You look like a nun to me at the moment, and I can't. And you're creeping me out actually. So I'm going to move away from you.
Let's see as the night progresses if you become just normal, beautiful Laura again. And are you picking anything else up in here?
I'm struggling to get past the cold. I know it sounds bizarre, but I'm struggling with that. But I've still got this nun.
Have you seen him like this before, Andy? Because whenever he's like this, it generally means that there's trouble ahead.
On occasions, yes, I have seen Dave like this before.
And did that bode well for the night?
You'll find out.
Great, fine.
Just keep Laura away from me. I don't know why. Normally, I know I scare you, Laura, but you, at the moment, you are scaring me. It's not you. There's somebody else there, and I've got to.
Could it be somebody that could potentially want to come through, Laura? That's following Laura around.
I think it's somebody
attached
that's attached, that's interested in us as a group. You're really bothering me, actually. She's really bothering me.
Well, I think that if you kind of like take 2 steps back, Laura. Dino, we've been around. We've had a look around. Where do you think would be the best place to take Dave now?
Well, one room that I felt very, very uneasy in was the guard room. I don't like the nursery at all.
No.
I feel like we do need to head there.
Can I just interrupt? I'm sorry. This was never actually a nunnery, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Because it's not just one nun here. As I'm settling into it, there's more than one nun here.
Okay. And what are you picking up from them? How are they feeling about us being here?
See, it sounds completely wrong, so you might have to bear with me a bit on this. It feels like there's an anger bordering on despair. It's almost like we're going to teach you a lesson sort of thing.
Which doesn't seem logical from a nun.
No, but it's almost like unless you do something, we're going to teach you a lesson.
If they don't come through, then perhaps we'll ask for a bit of elaboration on that a little bit later on, yeah? But we'll give you the chance to bring something through. Now, you're wandering around with some meter thing, Andy.
It's my good old trusty EMF meter, because I thought if we're having interesting things falling, it must be worthwhile putting it out. And the only spikes I've been getting are when I was walking behind Laura.
How do you feel, Laura?
I'm all right.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it goes.
As soon as you started speaking.
Whatever it is, but it's female energy. That's why I think it's female energy.
I feel quite comfortable. I'm not frightened or anything, so I think whoever it is, if there is someone there, I don't think they mean any harm. They're nice.
Let's move on to another room, take him away from this and Laura as well, and see if whatever it is comes to.
Okay, earlier in the courtyard we heard the door slamming.
Yeah.
It was the door from the servants' chamber onto the parapet. So I ran up and I've shut it. Monica just heard another door slamming, so I've just ran up to check. The door was ajar and the knob to the door was actually on the floor. It's detached itself from the door and it was in the middle of the floor of the
And that's
servants'.
the same door that you just checked and just shut?
Just shut, yes.
Right, and where was this room?
The servants' chamber going onto the parapet.
Let's go there. Right, let's go up these stairs now because I want to find out what's happening up here. We've had doors slamming, well, opening, and then being shut, and then coming up, and the door was ajar with the actual doorknob on the floor. So we want to go find out what the situation is now with this. So was it in here? In the next one. Right, so this is where the door we went out and stood outside.
And I've shut it in exactly the same way now. And it stays shut now.
Right. Well, this is the room then, Dave, where the doorknob has flown off of the door, and where we heard the, when we were stood in the courtyard earlier on, and we heard the door slam. It was this door.
Right.
So you came and you shut it again, put the doorknob back on, obviously, and it's remained shut since then.
Yes.
Battlements that way?
Yes.
Dead.
Our first scare of the night. What happened? Find out next.
The Sanctuary.
Thank you for your tweets about Fright Night. I'll do some of those in a bit, OK? It's at Kazza Sanctuary. Remember, if you want to text in throughout the show, 87867. If you hear anything in the background, something that we may have missed, then we want you to tell us about it. Now, our 6th Fright Night, it's here, it's underway. Our paranormal tour of Tamworth Castle. And already strange things have started. In the courtyard, we heard a door slam somewhere in the building. Psychic Dave had picked up a religious feeling, had sensed the presence of a nun that seemed to be surrounding lovely Laura from the Sanctuary team. And after investigating strange noises in the servants' quarters of the castle, we'd had our first fright of the night, the first of many. Should we try and progress somewhere out of the rain before we... What is that?
That sounds like a door.
Go and check in case there's a door being left open.
Because that was definitely somebody.
From within
Yeah.
the walls, didn't it? Didn't sound like something external, sounded like something in one of the rooms.
But all the doors were all locked up.
Earlier in the courtyard, we heard the door slamming.
Yeah.
It was the door from the servants' chamber onto the parapet. So I ran up and I've shut it. Monica just heard another door slamming, so I've just ran up to check. The door was ajar, and the knob to the door was actually on the floor.
But let's go
Should we
there.
head there now?
Right, let's go up to... Let's go up these stairs now, because I want to find out what's happening. So was it in here? In the next one? Well, this is the room then, Dave.
Battlements that way?
Yes.
The bed. And the door has just opened again. And do you know what? I did think that it might be the wind blowing it and blowing the door handle off, but the way that the wind is, it's kind of like catching the door and taking it back. So even if the handle had fallen off as it hit the wall, it wouldn't have come back in this room, would it?
Yes, it is a bit of a rickety door, but I shut it in exactly the same way as what I previously had.
Yeah.
If it was purely the wind and the wind had took it, why was there no wind that came in? Did we not feel it?
No, I didn't feel a draft
Draft.
at all.
There was no draft.
No.
I've seen this door open of its own accord on 3 different occasions since I've been at the castle.
Really?
Andy, you're inspecting the door.
Yep.
Any logical explanation?
Basically,
There it goes again.
it's a narrow corridor out there. If the wind whips round, and it doesn't, it pushes back against the door.
Yeah, but
and the door...
that time there was a breath of wind that came with it.
Yeah, but that wasn't...
There wasn't the
You
first
don't,
time.
you don't get it all the time. The first time, that's all it is the wind's whipping around. It's just created a difference in air pressure.
So what about the woman who stood just round the corner then?
Which woman?
There's a woman just round the corner there.
And what can you see? How does she look? Describe her.
It's very indistinct at the moment. Long time ago. I can hear footsteps, I can hear her walking, and it was her last journey. She's not scary. There's not like a scary thing about her at all. As bizarre as this sounds, I can see a haunted look on her face, and it feels like she's been told that something tragic has happened, and she's been told that somebody has died and then has gone out there and has killed herself, throw herself off, died. I don't know, it's odd. Getting my head round it at the moment, but it's very much a...
So you say it was her last...
tragedy. So it was her last
journey.
She feels like she was waiting, and either she misinterpreted what she saw, or she was told that somebody had died. That was a noise right behind us.
See, I'm looking at the door now, and it's blowing in the wind. The knob isn't turning, and now it comes shut. What are you finding now?
A spike on the EMF meters all the way down.
I was going to say, the way that the doors... It's not...
It's not...
It wasn't mine.
No.
Yes.
It's like someone is pushing and then stopping it. Knob.
That's not very nice.
Somebody calling me names.
Are you all right, Andy?
Right, a little less of that. So how'd that do that?
I don't know.
Surely if he stood there, I mean, he's not little, is he? And that's a small doorway.
Yeah.
How would that wind whip past that, him?
Andy, just quickly, when you were stood at the door and you were going out, did you feel the wind blow past you?
No.
So,
Yeah.
so that doesn't make sense then, does
No.
it?
Door side, is the woman still there?
Yes.
Outside.
Yes. Are we over the entrance?
Yes.
I don't like this room anymore. I feel a bit weird in here.
There is something odd about this room, though, you know.
In what way?
In that somehow I'm feeling in here that there's a bit of a religious... I can feel praying or something in here. There's a sense of religion in here again. This is something that's following me around a bit at the moment. I can see somebody kneeling and praying in here.
Is it linked to the woman?
It's not her. It's a man that is kneeling and praying. Can't see his face. He's got his back to me. I can hear prayers in Latin. I can hear the rosary. It's all to do. It's all that.
Did someone just chink something then?
Oh.
I want to get into bed.
Sorry?
Big bed. I want to get into bed. It's bizarre. It's a completely bizarre thing. It's like this room is completely wrong. It's completely wrong.
So how are you seeing it?
I see a bed. Big bed here. Not this disabled chair. Shouldn't be there. Giving me short breath as well in here.
It's a curious room to be in, isn't it, this one?
It's a completely odd room.
But even if you stand still, it feels like you're moving.
Oh, it does. The whole thing moves, but it's finding it hard to breathe in here. It's like there's a degree of suffocating. Tons of stuff being thrown at me here. But it's quite an oppressive room, actually. It really is. And the longer we're here,
the worse it can be.
The worse it is, and it's almost like I'm having either a weight put on my chest, or a pillow or something put over my face. It really feels like it's that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's linked to the bed as well. It's like I really feel like it's really, really being pushed at me to almost like somebody was killed or died. No, it's killed. Like it's not a die. It's something happened in this room.
Right.
I can't tell you why I feel there's so much to do with religion here at the moment, but everywhere we've gone, I've felt religion is there, and something bad happened here.
In this room?
Linked to this room.
And this has got nothing to do with the woman outside that you saw go through and out?
Well, it's not her.
Right.
It's not her. I've got to get the first part of a name. First part of a name. It's like a double-barrelled surname, and the first part I'm getting, I've only got the first part at the moment, is Fitz. It's to do with him. What did he do? It's his fault. He took something away, or I don't know, can't quite get it, but it's religious. It's all religion-based. And he isn't religious. He is not religious, but it's centering around him.
So he's not religious, but you're the one...
But it was his room, that room where I want the bed. He should be there. And I can see in my mind him, and then in the huge hall that's next door to it, I can see him by the fireplace, and there are big hunting hounds, and it's him, and it's there, and he's the Lord, he's in charge, and he's done something, he's taken something away, and it's to do with religion, and it's to do with nuns. I want to have a wander around, go around elsewhere.
What about the bedroom? Were you drawn in there at all, where that four-poster bed was?
That one
you've
there,
come through?
there's something, I could only describe that room as devilish.
And that's just there?
That's the one
Let's
that's
go back down there. Let's go back down there. So, a devilish room, a devilish character, a taste of things to come, I feel. We have some startling revelations coming up too on this, our 6th Fright Night. And I'm joined in the studio tonight by our resident psychic, Dave Matthews. Now, Dave, before we carry on with the Fright Night, Christmas and today especially, why is it so magical?
Well, today is the real winter solstice. Now, the solstice goes anywhere between the 20th to the 22nd of the month, and this year it happened at about 5:30 this morning. So we are literally right at the very beginning of winter, Yule and festive celebrations for the pagan community around the world. Yule, of course, the winter solstice, is when we celebrate the return of light over darkness. It's the days begin to get longer, and we begin to look forward to spring and things that are coming in the new year. But for our purposes, it's a time of getting together, of storytelling, and of celebrating and being with friends and family. Of course, it's also a perfect time for telling ghost stories by candlelight.
Which is what you're getting tonight. I hope that you're sitting there comfortably, all snug, all nice and warm and listening. But listen to everything, okay? If you hear things in the background, if you hear something you think we may not have picked up on, then do let us know, okay? 87867 on the text. Go join in on Facebook. It's Caroline Martin, The Sanctuary. We've put the photos on there from Tamworth Castle. Go check them out and see if you can pick up anything a little bit untoward on the pictures, because always people do, don't they, Dave?
Well, they do. I mean, often we take the photographs and don't see what's going on around us. We're so focused on what we can feel, what we can hear, maybe the wind blowing through windows, things like that, that we just take the photos, and only when people look at them and actually zoom in, sometimes there are faces. We've had whole figures appear in photographs in the past. So if you can see anything, let us know. It might be something that we missed.
Also on the text, Caroline on 87867, Jacob says, I heard a weird groaning sound as you entered the room. A couple of people have messaged saying, I can hear people singing in the background. That's the music that we use to set the Christmassy tone. That's Carol of the Bells. Trust me, I think we would have noticed a choir following us around.
But then again, if Silent Night were to pop up, that's not us.
That's got nothing to do with us.
You've got every reason to be alarmed.
Nuns.
Yes, we did have nuns.
We did have nuns, so they might have been singing. So maybe it's not the Carol of the Bells, maybe it's the nuns singing.
Don't creep me out now, Dave.
Well, we have creepy goings on, bad feelings and danger still to come as our 6th Fright Night, Death the Halls from Tamworth Castle, continues next.
The Sanctuary. Step out of your comfort zone and in to the Sanctuary.
Our 6th Fright Night, and we're at Tamworth Castle. We've had doors opening and slamming of their own accord, Dave picking up the feeling of nuns in the castle, and the spirit of a woman stood on the battlements. In a room called the Haunted Bedroom, Dave has also picked up the name of a woman called Fitz, and the room that we were drawn to next is the room that Psychic Dave has called devilish.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away.
It was the night before Christmas. All through the house, a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
So this is the room that you feel that you're describing as devilish. Why? What are you getting in here?
What I can only describe as evil in this room is a very strong, wicked male energy in this room. He's somebody that when he was alive, when he was here, he manipulated people's lives, this man. He doesn't like you.
Me?
He really doesn't like you.
Why?
Don't know. It's Simon he doesn't like. What I've had around Laura isn't somebody who's interested in Laura, it's just somebody desperately trying to show themselves to Laura, and I've still got this nun. I don't know who she is, but I'm hoping she's going to come through.
Do you want to go to the guard room, or do you want to go back to where you were?
Don't mind, let's go wherever.
Right, let's go up here.
Okay, hang on. Why is there... I know you said this isn't a convent, but I've got like a Mother Superior kind of, somebody like a boss, not a chief nun, I don't know, a Reverend Mother, because she's an abbess. She's pleading her case. Why is she pleading her case? Whoever was here, whoever was the Lord here, has taken away the right to practice religion or something. I don't know, he's stolen an abbey. We need to find out this. This is quite...
We've just had a light come on. All the lights are off in here, and we're all here, and a light is just up here. Just literally switched off. We were stood here. How does that... somebody would have to switch it on from up there?
Yes, the light switch for that room is in that room.
Is that the guard room?
That's the guard room.
Well, we were stood here talking to you, so it's been... And while we were stood...
I've just heard a groan.
It just went light.
I've just heard a groan.
And this is... Where does this lead to? The guard room. Let's go up to the guard room. So the light is here behind the door.
This is the light, the switch.
There's nobody in here, is there?
What did you shut this door as we went out before? Because we saw the light come on. There was a light that came on as we were standing downstairs. The door was open.
When we went and did the tour, we came out, you shut the door behind. This light was off, because you turned all the lights off.
I really don't like this room.
No.
What's wrong with this room? How do you feel in this room?
I really don't like this room.
This room is cold.
It's not just the cold, there's something horrible here. My head feels like it's got a vice around it. It's really oppressive, this room. It is horrible.
Can you tell what this would have been? Are you seeing it as it was, or anybody in it?
There's a bizarre thing. I can see a round table in this room. Of course, it's just the oppressiveness on my head. Hot in this room.
Where's Simon gone?
Simon's had to leave the room.
A lot of it is focusing in on him. A lot of it is focusing in on him.
But why him?
I don't know.
I've just been and talked to Simon, and he had to leave the room because he started to feel a bit dizzy. He looks very disorientated out there, and he's just sat there. He doesn't want to come back in the room yet. Andy's kind of like working on him and hoping that he'll rejoin us. And our voice is going. And you're looking worried, Dean.
Hmm?
You're looking worried.
I feel the same as when we came in before. I just feel really, really uneasy.
It's a horrible room.
Would it be worth, at this point, maybe finding out about this room? Because
if Dave's feeling bad, Simon's feeling bad,
Yeah.
I'm feeling uneasy.
we're feeling fine. Laura and I
Fine.
feel absolutely fine.
But it's the men. It's horrible. There's
Excuse
something.
me.
Maybe Linda or Monica might be able to know a little bit more.
Monica, could you explain, is there anything that we're not getting? Why are the men affected in this room? Has this happened before?
Yes,
Or
it
Linda?
has. I use this room for ghost searches because I find that this is the reaction I would expect from women, though.
Okay.
But it's quite interesting that Simon's had to leave the room because he couldn't stay in here, and that is very common. Also, the fact that the light switched on in this room,
Yeah.
that's happened once before in my experience.
Right.
But yes, this room sits very uneasily with people.
Andy, are you okay? Do you feel any discomfort in this room or unease?
No, again, I'm smiling. I'm feeling very unusually mischievous for myself.
Well, we've got Simon that's just come back into the room now, having left. How do you feel, darling?
I still don't feel right. Just went a bit dizzy earlier.
Do you feel uncomfortable in here, or does it
Yeah.
just feel you look completely disorientated? To be
Yeah,
fair.
I just don't feel right, and it made me feel a bit dizzy and a bit weak.
We'll get Simon out of here because I don't want anything. This is his first one. I don't want anything bad to happen to Simon. Andy, can you
Certainly.
do something with Simon, as you are the one that's able to kind of like cope with these things? David, how are you feeling?
I feel horrible here.
Should we go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Because I think that if you're feeling this and it's building up, and I can see, if you look at Dave and the way that he is, his mannerisms, you know, he's rubbing his hands on his legs, he can't keep still, he's fidgeting, and he seems to be quite tense. I think that without Andy in here, if anything happens to him, we're going to be hard placed to kind of like bring him back round again. And we've seen this happen before, so perhaps it's best that we take him away from the room, go somewhere else. You're making me feel nervous now.
I really want to just attack somebody, and I'm so glad that Simon isn't in here, because if Simon was in here, I'd just smack him one.
What
I can
is it
feel.
about Simon?
I can
What do you
feel.
see?
Do you know? If he was here, I would. He really makes me angry.
But it's not him that makes you angry.
No,
What is
it's
it
not.
that's making, what's in him that's making you angry?
I'm gonna have him. I'm gonna have him because he's telling me I'm gonna have him. I'm gonna. Oh, I don't know what it is. Don't know who it is. Don't like it. Really don't like it. He's really angry. He's really angry.
Just
really
against Simon.
angry. Yeah. So
Yeah?
You're all completely irrelevant and just nothing to do with you.
So can you
So I
say...
just want to just get out of my way. I want to just. I'm fighting him back because I want to.
Get to Simon.
Yeah.
Is it the same guy that was in
there?
Is this the same guy that we've had earlier?
Yes.
Where you
Foreign
found
sounding
that
name.
it was
Yeah.
evil in there.
All I can hear all the time is a very muffled Marolo. It's not. There's something. There's part of it missing. It's.
But we've got Linda in here as well, Dino. It's coming out with this name. Is it worth asking Linda if it...
As it's so close.
As it's so close. Does this mean anything to you?
It means a lot. It sounds like it's the second Lord Marmion. He was the one who took the land off the abbey at Polesworth, the nuns, that was founded by Saint Editha. She founded the abbey in the 900s, and it was a couple of hundred years later when the second Lord Marmion took the land from the nuns, and apparently she rose from the dead and she haunted him in this very room. And before she left, she actually struck him with a crozier, which is a sacrificial staff, and it wounded his side. And the wound on his side did not actually heal until he did return the lands back. Now, he is known to have been a very arrogant man. On previous vigils, we have had very much the same said. However, before, it has actually been against women. Women have been feeling very oppressed, sick. So I'm wondering why he has gone against Simon. Perhaps he's seen him as some sort of rival?
No, it's not rival.
And he said abbess earlier, and the nun around Laura.
He's seeing Simon as he's almost seeing Simon like a priest. It's like there's a religious air about Simon. Really doesn't like Simon.
Do you know, even I'm beginning to feel uncomfortable in this room now. I did when we first came in, then there was nothing when we first came round ourselves, but it's like there's something behind, there's something nearby, there is something that's not quite right, and you're not quite right.
No, I'm not.
No.
I don't feel right.
Right, let's get you out, sort you out. Andy, have you seen Simon?
Yes.
Is he religious?
He's Catholic.
I think, Dean, we need to get him out of this room. Yeah. A dark figure has appeared on our 6th Fright Night, our haunted tour of Tamworth Castle. Now, already one of our team has succumbed to negative feelings, with Simon forced to leave the guard room and Dave feeling anger and resentment towards Simon for no known reason. Doors opening and slamming by themselves and lights switching on by themselves. It's here we decided to take a breather. Now, normally on our Fright Nights, when we have a break, we switch off the microphones and we have a cheery brew. But on this Fright Night, interesting things were coming to light on our break, so we kept the mics recording.
Scrooge remembered to have heard that ghosts in haunted houses were described as dragging chains.
Dino, can you come here? Earlier, I was really struggling with a name. Fitz something. I couldn't get it, and it's because I've been denying what I'm hearing. But I've just been talking to Linda, and I said, "This is Staffordshire, isn't it?" And she went, "Oh, well, actually, it's almost Warwickshire." And the name just came to me, just literally threw itself at me. And the name that threw itself at me was Fitzherbert, and I'd heard that earlier. I'm going, no, that's completely wrong, because that's not right for here. It's completely the wrong area, but it isn't. And it's Fitzherbert, and it's a woman, and her name is Alice, and that is really, really important to what we've had earlier. Okay, do you just need, because it's Alice Fitzherbert.
Okay.
But I need you to have that.
Okay. Well, anything else? You've got that look in your eye.
Robert.
Okay. If you go back in...
If there's anything else, I'll come right back.
Okay. Does any of this make sense?
There was a long succession of the Lords Marmion. All of them were called Robert, except for one who was called Roger. So, the Lord Marmion who we were just talking about in the bedroom, second Lord Marmion.
That's him. Robert is him. Oh, the Marmy bloke. Oh, no. Oh, he's horrible.
And Alice?
That's... Alice isn't coming to mind at the moment, but perhaps we could ask Monica.
Okay. Well, let's go back in. The others are still on their break, and Dave's had his revelation. Yeah, he did look more relieved that he'd finally got a name. Let's go and join the others, I think.
Thank you. Monica, have you heard about Alice Fitzherbert?
I might have to go and look that up, because the name Fitzherbert is familiar.
Who else wants
It is familiar to me.
No, I'm all right, thank you.
I don't know if it's Tamworth Castle, though. I'll go and look it up.
Okay.
Fitzherbert is. I'm not so sure about Alice.
We need to go into that nursery.
Yes.
Desperately.
Okay. So I've just been and checked the notes of the owners of Tamworth Castle, and we can't find an Alice Fitzherbert at the moment. However, it's definitely ringing bells, so we're being driven a little bit mad at the moment. Can't think quite where we've heard it, but we have heard the surname Fitzherbert.
I may need to do a little bit more research on Alice.
Alice.
Who the is Alice?
Other people have actually picked up on dogs running around the castle, whereas you picked up on the greyhounds.
Yeah.
That has been felt before. And one of our colleagues went home from here on a ghost search night, and she felt like she had company when she actually left the castle. When she got home, her own dog reacted to her in a very strange way. Was just basically upset around her. She believes that actually the dogs went home with her, and she come back the next day and brought them back. So the next day when she went home, the dog was perfectly fine with her.
Fitzherbert's a Warwickshire name, and that's because when I'd had the Fitz thing before, I thought no, that can't be right, because I'm putting my own
your own knowledge
into it, and I thought so that's why I dismissed it. It's only when we were talking about, oh no, actually Warwickshire's from just over there, and going, oh, actually...
And Tamworth Castle, well, uniquely, Tamworth was in Staffordshire and Warwickshire. This town had 2 town halls, 2 markets, and the castle.
Shall I? Most famous ghosts associated with Tamworth Castle are the Black Something. Could it be because the abbey was voluntarily surrendered by the abbess Alice Fitzherbert?
She was the abbess that gave the lands to Marmion.
She's the abbess. I said abbess.
Oh, you did.
And the abbess that founded.
You said abbess. You said abbess, yeah.
Because they shut this
And you said the Fitzherbert, and then you said and a name Alice.
So she's the...
She's Laura.
She's Laura. She's the you then.
Blimey.
Well, I never.
You know the woman that you saw up on the staircase?
Yes.
Anything distinctive about the clothing? Specific colours?
Well, no, not really. She was just... You got to remember that when I saw her, she was just around the corner. She was like, I didn't actually get... If you've got something, don't say anything then, because there's more to that.
Right, I think that calm has been restored somewhat, so if everybody finishes their brews, we'll head back upstairs to the other, different part of the building, and hopefully everything between you pair will be calm and good. Are we friends now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We always were.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kill him.
Oh, there we are.
I just wanted to kill him.
Now, all through our tour of Tamworth Castle, our attention kept returning to an area called the nursery. We'd seen shadows moving in the windows out of the corner of our eyes, and we were feeling uneasy just thinking about it. We continue our fright night by heading up to that part of Tamworth Castle.
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Right, let's go on to a different part of the building that I'm hoping will mean calm is restored, to an extent anyway.
Where are we?
Right, we're now in the Georgian room. Nursery's next door.
Yeah.
Something interesting.
This is the nursery that Dave has stopped by. This is where we felt very uncomfortable earlier on.
Palpitations here.
Can you step in?
No.
How are you feeling about this?
Do you know, I can hear singing. It feels wrong though.
In what way?
When I was walking up, I was behind you, and I stopped here. And as we walked in the corridor, you'd gone way ahead, and I stopped here, and I wanted to stop here. But it feels wrong. But I can hear children singing, but it's not happy. It's like almost like to raise your spirits, and to make the bad things go away.
Yeah, you know, what you're thinking.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like it's not happy singing. I mean, I know this is the nursery, but it's just not the kind of nursery that I'd want to be in as a kid.
We said that earlier on. It feels
very cold at low level as well, actually, like knee level.
So what are you sensing in here? Is it actually children, or would it have been used for something else? I mean, it's just because it's dressed as a nursery doesn't mean to say it always was.
It's not.
Is it?
No, it's not. I can hear children's voices, but they're not. It just doesn't feel right as a nursery. It just doesn't feel right at all. You know, I really don't want to step into the room. I'm sort of like hugging the doorway. I don't want to come in at all. It's like it feels wrong. It's not a nursery. It
You just
isn't.
moved the foot. Did you just tap your foot, Caroline?
No.
I thought it might be Caroline's foot, but your feet aren't where I thought they were.
What do you want to look at?
Through that curtain, but if you can't come in, then you can't look.
Okay. If you move the rope so that... because I really don't want to be in there very long. Okay. Just like stepping across the threshold, I don't want to...
It's not comfortable in here. I can't feel what you feel, but it's very uncomfortable for me to be standing here, so I can only imagine what it's like for you. This is the room, isn't it, Dino, where wherever we've been...
We've seen shadows.
We've seen shadows going across the window. Look behind there and see how you feel when you look behind there, if anything.
On this side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, this is horrible.
I actually feel sick now. It's just a little cubby hole, isn't it? But there's just something not right about it.
I don't really want to come all the way in at all. It's like a... No,
Oh,
I don't want to go all the way in.
There's something just touched my head. Let's come back.
Want to go in. It's like somebody was kept.
I don't know what it is, but it's horrible. Truly horrible. Whether it was a child, whatever it was, it's just so uncomfortable, isn't it?
I don't like it, this room at all.
There's a huge drop in temperature here as well.
I feel sick.
Yeah, that's exactly how.
Sick. And it feels like there were locks on the doors as well. It's like a.
It just feels so oppressive, doesn't it?
It's but this is different oppressive to over there.
Yeah.
That was nasty. This is horrible. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. And this thing, it's because there are things missing.
What's missing?
There are things that used to be in this room that aren't here anymore. Missing things in this room. And that's part of the sadness. That's part of why whatever it is isn't happy in here.
You know, when we've been to other places where they've had children and we've all felt that there were children there.
Yeah.
I don't feel like...
No, it doesn't feel like...
It's not a nursery.
No.
It doesn't feel
the minute
tall.
you said something's missing, the first thing I thought of is
the
children.
Let's walk back over this way.
So this is bizarre. It's the doorway. I've got like hot flush.
Stepping through the doorway.
Yeah. The corridor's different to the room.
Yes.
Come here. Now. Go and get the sound of that over there. Go against the window. So loud.
As I'm stood here, there's feet behind me, and here there's a lot of sadness here. There's a lot of sort of toing and froing here, whereas there's no toing and froing in there. There's almost an element of panic in this room, and I want to scream.
I know it's really windy outside, but you get the feeling that even looking around here, looking at that window, I know that we can hear the wind blowing outside and gusting, but don't you get the feeling that one of those windows is just going to go shatter or just blow undone?
There's absolute despair here.
Are you picking up on male or female?
Both. It's mostly female. It's like grief. It's really not nice. This is a horrible part of the building.
Can you say what's causing it? Do you know what's causing it? Any idea?
It's all to do with childbirth. It's children that aren't here that should be here. The whole thing is just horrible.
Do you know Linda?
Yes. Frances Cook gave birth to 3 children, 2 of which died within 6 months of being born. Obviously, even though it was Victorian times, losing children was as painful then as what it is now. Also, the room that we are now calling the nursery was not a nursery. It was a bedroom. The nursery was located to the room to the side. So I think that's possibly what Dave's picking up on. That is believed to have been the room of Annie Cook. There were several rows apparently occurred. The last row culminated in, so we believe, in Annie being put out of the castle. And rumour has it that she actually scaled the walls and got back in. And upon which her dad told her that she could take a yearly allowance and move outside of the castle, or he would actually have her locked up in the lunatic asylum that was actually housed...
What was that? Did anyone else hear that?
Downstairs.
That's...
The door slam.
Yeah, but why? I don't know why. I'll go and investigate.
No, finish the story.
Her dad threatened her with locking her up in the lunatic asylum, which is now the Moat House restaurant just down the road.
Right.
That was the asylum. So she did duly take the money and moved away. But obviously there was a lot of anger there. That was her room, so that's her space. So even now, I have experienced a very poor atmosphere in that room when I've gone in.
I think she slammed the door. I think she's here.
Let's move back to another space. Linda's gone to investigate the stairs. Door slamming.
Got a same top of the stomach feeling in here, but I've got resentment here. I could easily lose the plot.
In what way? What kind of lose the plot?
It's
Just keep your eye on Dave because he doesn't look right to me.
There's a real brooding anger again here in this room. There's an argument here that's coming, and it's... This is my home. This is my home. How dare you say, you ungrateful little bitch. You ungrateful little bitch. You...
Dave, who are you?
You have no right to be in here. You should not be here.
Can you tell us who you're talking to?
She's no one. He says to beware of what you see. He says that everything isn't what it seems here. He says that this is not a place to feel safe. He says, I'm coming for you. He says that you should be afraid. He says that you are not welcome.
You're looking at Andy and Simon in that direction. Who do you mean?
It's not me.
Simon.
What?
Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
Simon.
Get out of my way. Please move back. Out of my way.
Dave, what is your message for him and what has he done?
You do not deserve to live.
Bring him back, Andy. Bring him back.
Okay, just stand back. Come on, Dave.
Dave.
You can come back to us, Dave. You can't go anywhere. I've got you here. There's two of us here. You can't go anywhere. Come on, Dave. Come on back.
Just relax, Dave.
Come on back.
Relax.
Come on back.
Relax.
Okay.
Laura, can you stand behind him just in case he falls back?
Simon isn't here.
Okay.
Come back to us, Dave. You okay?
Yeah.
Right, now you're relaxed.
Dave, what happened?
He helped her to die.
Who?
I don't know. He helped her to die. And that's why he was... I think earlier that's why he was praying for forgiveness.
Who helped who to die? Was it he, the one that was coming through you, helped someone to die, or who you see in Simon helped her to die?
Whoever Simon is helped her to die. And I could just see her falling. I think she was the one who was through that door that opened earlier, and she threw herself off the battlements, but he helped her. He told her it was okay.
While you've been talking and while you've been explaining what you've been explaining, there has been something... You know that we keep seeing shadows moving across windows when we're standing over the other side, when we're looking up to the window of the nursery. There has been shadows in that doorway. It's like something just keeps flitting back and forth.
But I think if I let anybody else through here, even in this part of the building, he's just waiting to come through.
So what do you feel comfortable doing?
I don't mind.
Right, we're going to go over to where this all began with Dave this evening, where he took he took against Simon, didn't he? And that seems to have followed round. We seem to have some of the story, but not a complete story. So we're kind of like being drawn back to the area that we were in before. So we're going to go back over there now. Now, Simon, we know what happened to you here. We know what happened to you elsewhere. Are you comfortable with coming over there again, or would you rather not be in the room?
No, it's fine. I'll give it a go, but I've got Andy and yourself around me, so...
And Dino, do you think this is a good idea?
Hell no. But it's never stopped us before, has it?
We're near the end of our festive Fright Night, but there are more questions than answers. And the only way to get them is to face our demons head on. We do that next.
The Sanctuary.
It's our 6th Fright Nights, our festive, haunted investigation of Tamworth Castle. Now, the night was drawing to a close, thankfully for some in our team. Psychic Dave had been picking up all through the evening the feeling of a man who, for some reason, had a hatred to Simon from my team. Now, after allowing the feeling to build through the night, Dave had channelled this character, which blamed Simon, or rather what Simon represented, being a Catholic, for the death of someone, a woman, we believed, that had killed herself from the tower of Tamworth Castle. Now, we needed to end the night by confronting what had been toying with us all night. So it was time to face our demons head on and head back to the room that had started the frights on our Fright Night number 6, Death the Halls. Right, we're going to go over to where this all began with Dave, where he took such a... Well, he took against Simon, didn't he? And that seems to have followed round. We seem to have some of the story, but not a complete story. So we're kind of like being drawn back to the area that we were in before. So we're going to go back over there now. Now, Simon, we know what happened to you here. We know what happened to you elsewhere. Are you comfortable with coming over there again, or would you rather not be in the room?
No, it's fine. I'll give it a go, but I've got Andy and yourself.
We should just say, Simon, if you feel uncomfortable in any way, shape or form, you just say stop and we will break it off.
And if you don't feel like doing it, then please don't do it, because we will go ahead with Dave and you can be out somewhere safe, having no part in it whatsoever at all.
Same goes for everyone. If you feel that it's uncomfortable, just say stop.
Right, we've got to head across the parapet now and get everybody together back to the servants' quarters. It's so cold and windy. Oh, my word. I must say I'm fairly worried about Simon, but more so actually about Dave, because I know that we won't ever let anything happen to Simon at all. So the worry is that we've got to get whatever it is out of Dave. Do you know what I mean? So we've come back to the room where this all began at the start of the night. We've got Dave, we've got Simon, everybody else is just, sitting to the side. How do you feel, Simon? Because you're incredibly hot. Your hands are freezing, but your head is so hot.
Really, really warm in here.
Can you, at any time that you feel uncomfortable, can you say so? Can you, or just walk around and leave? Andy's by the doorway. Everybody's ready to assist you.
Yeah.
And Dave, do you feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Now, where Dave is sat, he's on the steps leading to the door that first drew us up to this room. The door that flung open, the door whose handle fell off, and Dave feels comfortable sat there on the stairs. Do you think that's the best place for you to be, Dave?
Yes, I do, actually.
I've just heard somebody walking across floorboards.
OK, what are you picking up in here now?
Pray, Father. Pray like you've never prayed before. Do you have sins to confess? I think you do.
Simon, how are you feeling? Because we appear to be swaying. I'm not swaying. I'm stood here in front of Simon. He's right behind me, and I'm holding his hands, and we are swaying. Is Simon all right, Dean? You can see him.
Pair of you, you're rocking backward and forward. Dave's...
It's what it must have been like, isn't it? Standing there, nothing before you, moving backwards and forwards, waiting to jump. Is that what it feels like? Is it? If I were you, I would pray for forgiveness.
Is this Robert?
You have no right to call me that name. You worthless excuse for a priest. Why didn't you stop her? Why didn't you stop her?
Can you tell us what the priest did, or failed to do?
How could you let her go? I trusted you. I trusted you!
Oh, Dave, Andy. Dave, where's Laura? Laura, can you hold the mic?
Just turn over for a little.
How are you feeling, Dave?
I'm alright. He's absolutely heartbroken. I really thought... I thought he was Robert, but he wasn't.
Who's heartbroken?
It was a knight. His name was Lancelot. It just sounds really stupid. It sounds like it's a King Arthur myth or something, but it isn't.
I've just come inside. Simon's really shaking, really shook up. But calm down. So where is... I mean, how come we've gone from Robert to Lancelot?
I don't know. I think if we can get Dave relaxed or comfortable enough to...
I'm all right. I'm all right, yeah.
It's almost like you...
Are you crying?
Yeah. He's really upset.
So this is Robert that's really
No,
upset? No,
no,
this is
it's
another
not.
one.
It's not.
I thought at some point in that we would get, because it's happened before sometimes, hasn't it, that we've had somebody come through from another one that we've done, and I thought I thought it was going to be Jamie.
For a minute, I thought it was either the James or
Jonathan. Jonathan, yeah. I thought it was going to be James or Jonathan.
No.
Andy, can you shed any light on this?
Yeah, I just want a chance to chat to the two ladies first before I actually tell you more.
Let's get Dave sat down.
Should we take them down? Should we go down and then you can sit and chat to the ladies? Is that all right, ladies?
I was a bit nervous then because I didn't know whether it was you holding my elbow or whether it was...
When?
Just a minute ago. You were holding my elbow, weren't you?
No.
Somebody has just taken me by the elbow.
No. I've been now in front of you.
My elbow.
Yeah. Andy,
really?
Were you holding Dave's elbow?
No.
Somebody...
Sorry?
Somebody, as I was kneeling here and you were in front of me, somebody has just been beside me and was literally holding my elbow like that.
Definitely wasn't touching your elbow, and Andy was stood up to the side.
You know, if you've done something for somebody and they go, thank you, it was like that.
Like that?
No, like...
To
like
help
that.
you, to guide you, like...
But no, as a thank you for doing that.
Right, so he was
now.
coming through to thank you for expressing how he
when
was feeling.
No words, just the touch.
And do you think that was whoever it was?
Yeah. It sounds really corny. It can't be Lancelot, can it? It's a really stupid thing to say.
Can I just read you something? This is the most famous ghosts associated with Tamworth Castle are the Black Lady and the White Lady. The White Lady is said to have been captured and locked in the tower by the wicked Sir Tarquin, but after a while she fell in love with him and is said to walk the battlements around the castle, weeping over her lover who was slain by Sir Lancelot de Lac, who came to her rescue. Legend has it that the White Lady threw herself from the battlements when she found that Sir Tarquin was dead. Her ghost has been seen walking the battlements and her cries heard.
Oh, my word.
I know Dave's saying it sounds silly about the Arthurian legends.
Yeah.
And they are just legends. However, you did also mention
A round table. I did, didn't I?
Oh, in the other room?
Yeah.
In the night room where all the knights were.
You said there should be a round table. Yeah.
I did.
There's also, I mean, we are heading into very, very much conspiratorial side here because the Arthurian legends have never been 100% proved. But there is also believed by many people that King Arthur was actually based in the Midlands, not the southwest coast. Because from a position of power, it was easy to rule the country from the centre of the country, which means indeed a lot of the Arthurian legends may have been based in the West Midlands.
How did we get to King Arthur?
I don't know, but I thought my luck was in when Lancelot popped up. I'll tell you. Him that plays Lancelot in the film King Arthur, he's a dickhead.
Oh, Ewan Griffith.
Ewan Griffith. Is that always like that?
I've never noticed it until we came.
Is someone sat on the bed?
No one went behind the ropes, did they?
That is like...
Not in here.
No, it looks like somebody's been sat there. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Look at the bed.
And we would have noticed that a lot earlier.
Well, we came in earlier, didn't we?
Photos.
Well, let's
Take a photo of that, because then you can do a comparison. I have to compare it to a previous picture.
What is that noise?
That was in the movie, I think.
It's like somebody was pulling a... You know when you move a chair over a wood floor? Has somebody moved something in one of the other rooms?
No, because we're all in here.
Oh, really? I think that... Let's go now. Well, I think that just about wraps up our Fright Night number 6 from Tamworth Castle. I think that you'll all agree it's It's an amazing place and well worth a visit. So if you do happen to be over Tamworth Way, and whatever you're doing, if you're just coming to shop, if you're just coming to the Snow Dome, whatever you're coming to see, then make sure that Tamworth Castle is on your list of places to visit, because it's absolutely magnificent. Thank you everybody for tonight. Thank you especially to Monica and Linda for making us so welcome here. Thank you very much, ladies. You've been marvellous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Simon. It may have been your first one, but boy, did you get thrown in at the deep end.
Just a bit, yeah.
Do you think there'll be another one?
I hope so.
He's not sounding too sure on that. That may take work. Dave, our resident psychic, Dave Matthews, thank you very much for what you've done tonight. You look absolutely drained.
I really feel it. I'm not physically tired, and I'm going to tell you, we've only been here a couple of hours, but emotionally, I feel absolutely wiped out.
Even I'm beginning to feel uncomfortable in this room now.
There's something, I could only describe that room as devilish.
Oh, it sounds ominous, really, doesn't it?
Monica just heard another door slamming, so I just ran up to check, and the door was ajar, and the knob to the door was actually on the floor.
Now Andy's gone, as I can feel this. It is the anger is building, the pressure up here is building. It's getting like a... It's almost like you want to go and just really explode.
Well, we've got Simon's just come back into the room now, having left. How do you feel, darling?
I still don't feel right.
What is that?
Is that light up there?
It's moving.
You've seen lights before, Andy. Because whenever it's like this, it generally means that there's trouble ahead.
On occasions, yes. You look like a nun to me at the moment, and I can't. And you're creeping me out.
I don't even want to go in this room.
I feel quite comfortable. I'm not frightened or anything, so I think whoever it is, if there is someone there, I don't think they mean any harm.
Should we try and progress somewhere out of the rain before... What is that?
Oh, I don't know what it is. Don't know who it is. Don't like it. Really don't like it. Really angry. Really angry.
Is this against Simon?
Yeah.
Right, here we are approaching the castle. That is a big locker.
He's stolen an abbey. Doesn't make sense.
You get the feeling that one of those windows is just going to go shatter or just blow undone.
Her dad threatened her with locking her up in the lunatic asylum.
Grateful little bitch.
Would you feel comfortable getting in there?
Not at all. Out of my way. Get out of my way.
Right, just stay, Dave. You can't get anywhere. There's two of us here. You can't go anywhere. Come on, Dave. Come on back.
Well, this is the room then, Dave. We heard the door slam. It was this door.
Right. It's like someone is pushing and then stopping it.
I trusted you!